Let's take a closer look at the Premier Collection Ahsoka Tano 1:7 scale statue from Gentle Giant. Villa Varykino, living the Star Wars life. Hello there, and thanks for visiting the Villa Varykino YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be taking a closer look at and unboxing the Premier Collection Ahsoka Tano 1:7 scale statue by Gentle Giant. So this is a kind of an exciting arrival here. You might be able to make out the price sticker up here. This is in New Zealand dollars. Locally it retailed for $349 and I spotted it on clearance for $147. So I was very excited. I love Gentle Giant statues, mini busts, but unfortunately international postage has gotten very expensive for us here in New Zealand. So I do try to buy it locally when I can, you know, try and save where I can. And this special was just too good to pass up. So very exciting because I love Ahsoka Tano. I try to collect as much of her character as I can, especially her live action appearances. I am really enjoying her new look here. So of course I had to grab this one so I didn't miss out. So very keen to open it up and take a look at all those details close up. But before I do, we'll just take a look at the box here. So this is a pretty classic modern Gentle Giant box with this black and these sort of dark gray corners here. We can see the Diamond Select Toys logo here because they now own Gentle Giant. So we have those dual logos here. We've got that nice big Star Wars logo, Ahsoka Tano 1:7 scale statue, and a nice big image here of the statue itself. We can see Ahsoka standing here with her lightsabers drawn. Really cool. On the side, we get a little bit of a side view of that pose there. This box is quite tall. And then on the back, we get a lovely close-up view of the statue's sculpt of the face there. I really like the expression. And we can see a little bit of a bio here for Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano, a Togruta female, was the Padawan learner to Anakin Skywalker and a hero of the Clone Wars. Alongside Anakin, she grew from headstrong student into a mature leader, but her destiny laid along a different path than the Jedi. And then we have a little bit of information about the statue itself here. Designed, modeled, and prototyped using top-of-the-line 3D technology, this 1:7 scale statue represents the next of our new collection from the ongoing Star Wars saga. Each statue is hand-cast, hand-painted, and hand-numbered with a limited edition certificate of authenticity. May the Force be with you. And it says here it is limited to 3,000 pieces, and we have the Gentle Giant website there with those logos for Gentle Giant and Diamond Select Toys there. On the bottom, we have some of that copyright text, and then we have the sticker here that says 1573 of 3000 of that edition size. Sorry, that's upside down. And then again, we have that side angle there of the statue on the side. And on the top, we just have some pretty basic design there of the Star Wars logo and the description of the statue. So there we go, pretty classic Gentle Giant box. It's an unusual shape. I'm used to some of those statues being in a much wider box. This one's quite narrow, so very keen to open it up and take a look at the statue inside. Okay, moment of truth. I generally try and open it with that Gentle Giant logo on the top. Kind of slid out of the box the other way around, so I'm going to take that lid off. Okay, so no accessories in that top tray. We have got, I can see, we've got the little clear blades because of course this version of Ahsoka has clear lightsaber blades. We have the base all wrapped up in plastic. I'm going to put the base over here. So I'm just getting little bits of polystyrene on my hands. And then we have Ahsoka herself with some desiccant packets there. Okay, so let's take a look. She looks really pretty. Very exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna, I just wanted to really see here. Okay, so I'm gonna take the plastic off of the base so that we can start assembling her. Because I kind of like the Gentle Giant statues. They've generally got, you know, one, maybe two pieces to assemble. so we can take a closer look at the base without the figure on it. So this is kind of fun. We can see that there are like 2 boot prints sort of in the mud, and this one has 2 peg holes. So I like that we can sort of see the way that the statue is going to stand. Sometimes if they're a little bit nondescript, like some of those old classic Gentle Giant round ones, I'm always like trying to figure out which way round it's going to go. And then we've got these sort of little light details. And I like the sort of the stone sculpting around the edge here. That's really nice. You can see that all the way around. That's quite a fun texture, isn't it? Looks really cool. I like the little boot print in the mud. Of course, it's probably going to be covered once we put the statue in there, but I thought that was a fun, really fun detail there. And on the underside, we've got that classic Gentle Giant text there on the bottom. Star Wars Ahsoka Tano's 1:7 scale statue, limited edition number 1573 of 3000. The Lucasfilm Diamond Select Toys text there. And we've got these 4 little sort of rubber stoppers here on the bottom. So that's nice and, you know, secure when you put it on your display shelf. So I think it's going to go like this because it looks like on the box we've got one of the lights towards the front and one towards the back. So I'm just going to pop that one down there to the side. And now, if I can carefully remove Ahsoka from her box, we'll get her out of her plastic and standing on her base. I'm hoping the pins will go in nice and smooth. It's always a relief when these things click together nicely and they're not a wrestling match. Okay, so there we go. Okay. Wow, there's some really fine detail on this. Okay, so I'm just going to put this tray out of the way so I can get the base into the right spot and we'll assemble her. Just putting these 2 pins. One of them is longer and one of them's shorter, so I'm probably going to try and, sorry, there's just a little bit of fluff. I'm just try and put that back peg in there first because it's a bit bigger. Come on, wiggle down. Wiggle down. If I can get you to slot in. There we go. Nice. Okay, she went together really well. We've got a little bit of wobble there, but I don't feel, she feels pretty secure because of how tight that sort of back pin was. A little bit of a wriggle to get it in there, but sometimes I actually prefer it to be a bit of a snug fit. I do have 1 or 2 statues where the pins are very loose and the figure really moves, and I basically have to take it apart to move it. So I'm quite happy there. So just getting that little bits of polystyrene dust off of her. I really like the speckling and the expression on her face. I think that looks really pretty. I like that. And the detail on her costume looks really nice. So I'm just going to go and try and put the lightsaber blades in. This is always a little bit of a fiddly part to it because these things have thinner little insertion tips here. And I really don't like risking any snapping. I have had 1 or 2 experiences with Gentle Giant where the blades just really didn't want to go in properly, and I got quite stressed about how to sort of get them to, you know, just not snap trying to insert them. That's always a bit of a risk. So let's see how easily these ones go in. I'm just going to go with this one first. Okay. Oh, okay. Nice. That one went in nice and cleanly. Okay. And now we're going to go in with that shorter blade. And that one went in perfectly nice. Okay. I'm excited. I like that there's just a little bit of tension in those blades, but they went in really nice and smooth. Okay. Nice. So I might just change the camera angle a little bit so I can show some of these amazing details up close. But first impressions straight out of the box, I'm excited. This looks really cool. So I've just adjusted the camera angle. I'll zoom in very shortly, but I just want to sort of go over some of my favorite aspects of the statue now that we've got her fully in frame and standing up. I like her pose. I know some Ahsoka stuff have her in a bit more of a dynamic pose, but It kind of reminds me of one of my Rey statues, also from Gentle Giant. And sometimes I just like the slightly more sort of passive, relaxed posing. You know, there is a time and a place for some of the really dramatic stuff. And sometimes I just really enjoy just being able to see the character full length without sort of, you know, wild poses. And certainly it makes for just a nice balance on my shelf in terms of heights and poses and scales and things like that. It almost reminds me of sort of like just a slightly shorter Hot Toys sort of 12-inch, the way with the posing, but because it's not jointed, we've got just a smooth finish everywhere and this lovely sculpted base, which I think is really fun. So I'm really liking all of the detail of her costume here. We've got her very unique boots with the armor here. We've got her arm wrappings with those gauntlet armor pieces, the really fine quilting on her sort of hip, they're not really armor plates, but they kind of feel like armor, even though they are sort of designed to look like fabric with this sort of texture. We've got her really neatly detailed belt. And then in the back, we can really get a sense of these lovely draped pants. I think that really looks cool. Without even sort of looking at it, it kind of looks like fabric. But it is, of course, you know, the polystone of the statue. We've got that little laced up belt there in the back. We can even see sort of muscle definition because she is holding her lightsabers out and ignited, ready in combat. We can see the lovely sort of speckled blue and that sort of not quite white, it's like an off-white of her Togruta headpiece there, looking really nice. Coming over the side, we have this sort of similar detail. You can really see the lightsaber on this side. I really like that one. I like how neatly those clear rods went in. Sometimes you get sort of like a little bit of, I don't know, just sort of an awkwardness about where they insert there. And I really like the way that they fit in very cleanly. And then we've got some really fine silver weathering on her armor. I think that looks really nice. And we can see, if I just move this in a little bit closer, that paintwork on her beads strung from her belt. I think that looks really nice. And the silver detail on her belt, that almost looks like a little metal ring, but it is all part of the sculpting there. Really nice. I like the paint detail. I think it looks really cool. This is what I was really hoping for. You know, when you see the picture on the box, you hope it looks as good in person. I have been wanting this one. I've been keeping an eye on it in the store for a long time, and I'm just really, really excited that it looks as good as I hoped. I really like all those costume details, and there's just a really sort of subtle shading in the orange tone of her skin around her shoulder, because of course we've got sort of her arms exposed there under the arms, so we've got that, just that right amount of shading. There is even a really soft sort of fabric texture of her pants, which again is different to the tunic and all the other sort of fabric components that are rendered here as the statue. And again, we've got some lovely silver sort of weathering on those armor plates, and even the little silver buckles holding that armor onto her boots. All really nice there. So again, let's zoom in close and take a look at her face, because that is really one of the places where you can really win or really lose when it comes to collectibles. So taking a closer look at the face, I really like the details here. We've got some really clean lines of her Togruta face markings. I really like the softness of the orange. I know she is an orange-skinned alien, but sometimes the right orange, the wrong orange kind of throws off your perception of the character. And I feel like this is just the right sort of soft orange that really sort of pulls it together and makes it Ahsoka. We've got some really nice tidy detail on the eyes. You know, you can always tell if those pupils are just a little bit googly-eyed and pointing in different directions. I think they look really nice. They look like they are focused on the same point. I like that. Gentle Giant, I often notice they do this really subtle sort of gloss on the lips, which I do really like. It makes it sort of seem just a little less flat, which I do appreciate. And then we've got those little silver details on her leather headband. which is sitting just up. There is just like that tiny little lip behind that point there. So we get that sort of that elevation there, makes it feel like it's a separate piece, which I quite like. You can really see that sort of speckled effect on her montrals here, which I do really like. It doesn't look so sort of blue and white that sometimes works, but for this style of sculpting, I really like. It's kind of a little bit of an airbrush feel, but I think that it really sort of softens out sometimes that sort of harsh sort of zebra striping there, and I think that that looks really nice. The one critique I have when I am looking at this really close up is there is a tiny little bit of sort of extra paint, and it probably won't even show up on camera. There's a tiny little dot of like a little bit of extra paint on sort of her left where her eyebrow would be, that when I see it in certain angles, it kind of catches the light and looks like a very subtle little sort of extra bump. But when I look at it from other angles, I can't see it. So that is really, really minimal, which, you know, considering I have had, unfortunately, a statue from Gentle Giant of Rey, in fact, that was missing eyebrows entirely. I had to get a replacement for that one because they were just not painted on, and that was just unfortunate that that slipped through quality assurance. But generally speaking, there is like no bad scratches, because you know this is a slightly older statue. You don't know how well it's traveled over time, especially on a store shelf. You know, you don't know if somebody dropped it. The box did have a bit of a ding on the corner, but otherwise seemed to be intact and unopened. So I thought I'd take a chance, especially at that price point. So I'm really happy. I don't see any cracks, you know, especially since her arm is fully sculpted in and her whole body is one piece. So, you know, there's a little bit of potential there for some cracks or anything like that. But yes, I'm really, really happy with that facial paint job. I think it is a lovely, not quite serene because she's kind of in a battle pose, but she looks like she's sort of concentrating and ready, you know, sort of reaching out with the force, ready to fight. And I really like that. I think she is really, really pretty. I'm often a little bit biased when it comes to the female characters. I like them to look pretty because I feel like they really are in, you know, their live action form. The actresses that portray these characters are absolutely stunning, and I really want that sort of beauty to be captured in the collectibles, portraying the characters as well. So I do really like when my collectibles look pretty, and they just look really nice on the shelf. I think, you know, I really like the proportions of the character, the face, the paint. I'm just really, really excited. You know, I've been wanting this one for so long, and here she is, and she looks beautiful. I think that this looks really, really pretty, and no major cracks or flaws. So that's always a added bonus there. You know, sometimes it's a little bit gut-wrenching when you come home with your exciting new acquisition and you realize something's wrong and you're going to have to take it back. So I'm so excited. I will have some stills to show some of the detail that video doesn't quite capture. It's a little bit hard to get in there and show all that fine detail. Sometimes still photos just capture that a little bit better. But yeah, the painting detail on this is going to be a very exciting addition to my Gentle Giant statue collection of the leading ladies of Star Wars. I'm definitely going to be rushing out to go find the perfect spot to display her on my shelf because she looks amazing. I'm really, really exciting. And what a great price too. That's always an added bonus, isn't it? When you find something you absolutely love and it's on sale as well. So there you have it. That was my unboxing of the Premier Collection 1:7 scale statue of Ahsoka Tano in live action format. I'm really happy, if you couldn't already tell by my excited description of just how much I love this statue. I absolutely love it, and I had so much fun unboxing this one. You know, as soon as I had her in my hands, I had to open the box and check her out, and isn't she stunning? I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for watching and coming on this little unboxing adventure with me. Do check out our other videos for more Star Wars unboxing and all sorts of fun Star Wars collectibles. Catch you in the next video, and as always, may the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.